the truth teller, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Jermell Charlo is owed an apology by the boxing world, especially the writers, the ESPN writers, the Ring Magazine writers, because Jermell Charlo has been snubbed in the past. Been snubbed from pound for pound list. You know what I'm saying? From the pound for pound list in the past. I believe that Jermell Charlo has been the most devalued, disrespected fighter in the sport of boxing. And you already know the most accomplishable thing that you could do as a fighter is become undisputed in your respective division, especially. Now, what we saw this past week with Terence Crawford performance, you know what I'm saying, struggled a little bit versus Majramov. You know, we seen the vulnerability of Bud Crawford. We seen the vulnerability of Vergil Ortiz, who came up with the close victory versus Boachuk. The 154-pound division is the most competitive division in the sport of boxing. And if you've been following the channel, y'all know that I've been giving a lot of credit to Jermell Charlo, and I've been trying to fight that type of narrative that this is an easy division. This is not an easy division. This is the most competitive division in the sport of boxing, and we've seen all the vulnerabilities from all the fighters from the top 10. We've seen the vulnerability of Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano in the first fight, and then he came through fruition and imposed his will and his skills and became undisputed in the second fight. We seen the vulnerability of Lubin when he got knocked out by Jermell Charlo, but then came right back and won tons of WBC title elimination, right? We see the vulnerability of Fundura and Lubin and stuff like the back and forth, and then Lubin lost, but then, you know, Fundura, you know, that was a close, that was a tough battle. Fundura came with the victory, but then he lost to Brian Mendoza, and then Brian Mendoza lost to Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu, you know, in the past before versus Gausha, you know, he got dropped. There was vulnerability from Tim Tszyu. There was vulnerability from Tim Tszyu, Vergil Ortiz, Bud Crawford, Jermell Charlo, Fundura. You feel me? We seen Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario beat J-Rock. Before that, J-Rock beat Hurd. And then we seen Erickson Lubin beat Jason Rosario. We seen Jermell Charlo knocked out Jason Rosario and gave him the Holy Ghost where he knocked him out with that jab to the solo plex. Anybody couldn't get it in the 154-pound division, thus making it the most competitive division in the sport of boxing. We don't know what's going to go. We don't know who's going to win, really. And that's what you call competitive. That's what you call, you know what I'm saying, a hard division. That's what you call a stacked division. Now, we heard in the past, yo, the 135-pound division is stacked. We heard that the 140-pound division is stacked. We heard that this is stacked. 154-pound division is the most competitive division and the hardest division in the sport of boxing. And the vulnerability of all these fighters indicates that. You know what I'm saying? It was not easy for Jermell Charlo to become undisputed. See, that was the narrative. Oh, this is an easy division. Oh, he struggled with Harrison. Even though that I believe in the first fight with Harrison, I believe that Jermell Charlo did win that fight. And Harrison got the nod, right? But I did give him the first win. There's some, hey, yo, we seen the Brian Castano versus Eric, Lara. Lara, that was a draw. And I believe that Castano actually won that fight. Let's not forget Patrick Teixeira. Patrick Teixeira was the Tim Tszyu before Tim Tszyu. He was the hype guy, right? Until he faced Brian Castano, and Brian Castano beat him and became a WBO champion. And then a lot of people want to talk about the amateur career of Majramov because he didn't have a long pro career and stuff like that. And there's the reason why a lot of people felt that Bud Crawford was just going to wipe the floor with Majramov. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you look at the 154-pound division as well, you know what I'm saying? Brian Castano has a great amateur career, right? He beat the likes of Earl the True Spence in the amateurs. All these guys are good. All these guys have the potential to be a champion. The 154-pound division is the hardest division in the sport of boxing, and the guy that is the cream of the crop of the 154-pound division, it is Jermell Charlo. It's Jermell Charlo. The reason why Xander Zayas, shout out to the Puerto Rican phenom, that maybe people don't have the hype on him, but he's a good fighter. I believe he become a world champion later in his career, you know, in a couple of years. There's no rushing him because people see that it's a competitive division. In all reality, Jermell Charlo had become undisputed in the most toughest division in the sport of boxing. And by watching what happened this past week, 2 weekends, it indicates that Jermell Charlo becoming undisputed was not an easy route. He fought Charles Hadley. He beat Charles Hadley. He beat Trout. He beat Jason Rosario. He beat Lubin in the first round. He beat Brian Castano. He beat Tony Harrison. You know what I'm saying? He beat quality opponents. He beat a lot of quality opponents, but the thing is, it was not a glamour division. So thus, because it's not a glamour division, you think that this is an easy division. Just because we think that the cruiserweight division is not a glamour division, that doesn't mean it's an easy division. Just because we think the light heavyweight division wasn't a glamour division and stuff like that, but we know who the hell Artur Beterbiev and Bivol is, right? When Canelo Alvarez went up to the 175 and placed Bivol, and he went right back down to the 168, we understood that. I think the problem in the sport of boxing is that we truly don't want to educate ourselves anymore. We're getting bored with educating ourselves in the sport of boxing and really looking at everything and really studying these potential matchups and these fighters, right? So it's easy just to say, but Crawford, man, he's gonna wipe the floor with Masvidal. Hey, yo, Vergil Ortiz is gonna beat Bowichek. Nah, man. Everybody has their vulnerability, and look at this, ladies and gentlemen. With vulnerability, it comes excitement. Because we don't know who's gonna really win. Everything is a 60-40, 50-50 fight. People talking about Vergil Ortiz versus Bud Crawford. Should Vergil Ortiz now fight Bud Crawford? What you feel about his performance? Hey, you know what this tells me? That everybody is on the same level in the 154-pound division. Now, yes, Bud Crawford is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the whole of boxing, right? In the entire boxing, right? 3, 4, you can flip it around. But in terms of a 154-pound division, he's just a great fighter. Jermell Charlo, great fighter. King of the division. Vergil Ortiz, great fighter. Brian Castano, great fighter. Tim Tszyu, great fighter. Fundura, great fighter. Now Earl the True Spin's going to be moving up to the 154-pound division. You think that's going to be easy? Lara made his mark in 154. Let's not forget that even after, I'm sorry, when Canelo Alvarez, people felt not only the Mayweather fight, but people felt that Canelo Alvarez lost in the 154-pound division with Lara. See, the 154-pound division was not an easy division. The 154-pound division is not an easy division. So the narrative is all wrong. I'm only here to break it down unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. I like what I saw last night from Vergil Ortiz. I like the vulnerability and overcoming that vulnerability as well. I like to see hey, if a guy gets dropped, but how does he you know what I'm saying, act after? How does he weather the storm? Even though that I believe that was a flash knockdown in the first knockdown, and the second one was more of a slippage. I think he missed the wild left hook and he slipped out. For me, that wasn't a knockdown, but at the end of the day, they called it, right? But we see the dog in Vergil Ortiz. And at the end of the day, how many times I got to say in this channel, if you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, that everything is not about winning and losing, but it's how you win and how you lose. It's how you win and how you lose that you're going to get the ultimate respect from the boxing fan. It's the reason why Pitbull Cruz, the way that he lost to Gervonta Tank Davis, his stock risen. Bowichek stock risen. Masvidal stock driven. Vergil Ortiz stock still the same. Bud Crawford still the same. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the toughest division in the sport of boxing, the most competitive division in the sport of boxing. Thus, giving the ultimate respect to Jermell Charlo. Now you know how good and how great Jermell Charlo is in the 154-pound division. Don't let that confuse you from him daring to be great and facing the king in the 168-pound division, Canelo Alvarez. The only reason why people are trying to downplay and downgrade Jermell Charlo is because he moved up 2 divisions up to face Canelo Alvarez, King Nelo, a.k.a. Cartelo, a.k.a. Cash Nello, a.k.a. Payday, a.k.a. get the out of here, man. That's the reason you want to downplay him? So is Jermell Charlo the only guy that dares to be great and gets downgraded, disrespected? Why Jermell Charlo? Why Jermell Charlo? Even Kell Brook that got knocked out in the 5th round by Triple G didn't get disrespected. All I was hearing was, oh, yo, Kell Brook, yo, he exposed Triple G, even getting his eye socket broken. Mike Garcia's stock didn't drop when he faced Earl the True Spence. Took it to the whole 12th round. Came right back down, beat Jesse Vargas. He got respect. Why not Jermell Charlo? What is it with Jermell Charlo? Isn't Jermell Charlo also showing y'all that He's a dog, just like what Vergil Ortiz showed y'all yesterday. Didn't he prove to y'all in each and every of his wins to become undisputed versus Harrison knocked out, Brian Castillo knockout, Jason Rosario knockout? Is he an entertaining fighter? He showed you for the most part. Don't let that Canelo Alvarez fight confuse y'all. In the 154-pound division, he is the king. And I love that Jermell Charlo versus Vergil. Beautiful. We see two dogs going at it. Jermell Charlo versus Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford was calling out Jermell Charlo after the fight with Earl the True Spence. The problem is a lot of people was living in La La Land. A lot of people feel because of that performance that, oh my God, Bud Crawford could face Canelo Alvarez. He could jump 154. He could jump 160. He could go straight to the best. And Canelo Alvarez, we ain't even talking about no potential Demise Andre, man. Demise Andre will stop Bud Crawford in 168, folks. David Benavidez will put him in the hospital. And Canelo Alvarez will probably make him eat it from a straw. And Jaime Munguia, I believe so, will be, yes, because there's weight class for a reason. Doesn't mean that this guy doesn't have more skills than guys. It's a weight class for a reason. Just because you're great at 154, at 147, that doesn't mean you're going to look great at 154. The 154-pound division has been the most vulnerable division for all the fighters. And I think now, Jermell Charlo is owed an apology because he was getting snubbed, not because he wasn't doing his thing. He was getting snubbed because this was not a glamour division and because people didn't just know the name. People didn't want to study the name. People just like the lightweight division, the welterweight division, the middleweight division, which is a ghost town right now, and the heavyweight division. But the 154-pound division has been one of the hardest divisions for even all the fighters and legendary fighters who have stopped ground there. It's always been competitive with Oscar De La Hoya, Winky Wright, with Fernando Vargas. Always been a competitive division. I think that division, for the most part, was a division that people stayed for a short while, and that's why. It's almost like the 140-pound division. People stay there for a short while. The lightweights go to the 140-pound division, make a little pit stop, and then go to the welterweight division. But the 154-pound division, if you look at the history in the last 6-7 years, it's been highly competitive. Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. We keep it unbiased, logically, and objectively. I know there's a lot of fan bases that like to go against each other, and they wanted to see Vergil Ortiz fail because Bud Crawford fans see that he struggled versus Mashamov, so they wanted to see Vergil Ortiz fail. Other fan base just want to see, people are so divided, but in the end of the day, as a boxing community as a whole, the 154-pound division is the most difficult, competitive division in the sport of boxing. And the king, still king of that division is Jermell Charlo. He is still the man to beat. But you know what? It's going to be highly competitive if you mix and match it with anybody. You put Bud and Fundura, great fight. Tim Tszyu versus Lubin, good fight. Hey, Jesus Ramos is still in the mix. Hey, Josh Kelly is still in the mix. Conor Ben may be still in the mix. Xander Zayas still in the mix. Brian Mendoza still in the mix. And all of them have dog. I love this division. Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Love you. God bless. And on to the next.